Thanksgiving is a time where your second helping is better than the first. But for Harvard and Maine this afternoon, it's going to be tough to top that initial offering. The Black Bears got the win last night in an overtime thriller. Harvard scored their first power play goal of the year with just about 20 seconds left to tie it before Maine came back to get the win in extra. It's a Saturday matinee rematch here at the Wright Landry Hockey Center. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. Alongside Craig White, I'm Jess Todd. Craig, what a way to get the weekend started yesterday. We heard from Laura Bellamy and Molly Engstrom this series was going to be tight, it was going to be competitive, and they already showed us that.
Well, it took some time for the appetizers to finally come out, but once the platter was served and the chef pulled out the turkey from the oven, these two teams really got cooking out there. A back-and-forth game where neither team led by more than one, and I expect more of the same here this afternoon.
So let's get you to some of the recap from yesterday. It started with Harvard. No goals until that second period, but it opened the floodgates, all with Emily Hammond to get going.
Yeah, real tight checking, first 35 minutes or so, a physical affair, which is something that we expect out of these two groups. We had 3 ties, 3 different lead changes in that game, and Maine responded after that initial goal from Harvard.
Yeah, nobody had more than a 1-goal lead all afternoon, and mention that power play goal, no better way to get it for the Crimson in their first. Here it is on the setup. It was electric to find a way to tie it and force that extra frame, but Maine had the answer. It was Gracie Hansen on the winner. Her and her Minnesota Junior Whitecaps teammates with Reagan Worm and Lily Fetch, all 3 of them finding the back of the net, leading us into this second game of the series and maybe the storyline of the entire game. Julia Bacchetti getting her first start of the season for the Black Bears. It'll be the first minutes for everybody in net not named Kia Lahtinen.
And for Ainsley Tuffy, her first start since October, back when she made 40-plus saves in a wonderful effort against Clarkson.
Yeah, that is the starting goalies presented by Harvard Federal Credit Union, getting us set to go here before the opening faceoff. McDanis carries into the zone, flipped over for Lucia. She'll wheel around as Beati right with her if she wants it. Lets it go. Second chance, and McDanis has another. Wildcats continuing to press, looking long. Entry in, Knittel, nice pass over, she gets it back, diving tip in. Second of the day in highlight reel fashion for Cataline Knittel. It was early and often for Jack Burkhart in the middle, so strong in that area of the pool. Coach Minnis said it's just Jack being Jack. That's what he offers this team. Dean Strausser up at the top, fires and scores over the top, the lefty hammer. Sun corrals the rebound. She drew the double team, was looking for the open man, in front, finds it, it's McSweeney on the one-timer home. Errant pass, uncharacteristic of the half so far, and now BU's got a big chance. Defense trying to track it down, Otero to work, he lays it off, Bonington lets it go, and it's in! Terriers take their first lead of the game. Bonington's got a brace. Mara Andrade been busy this rally. Free ball again for Northeastern. Back set. This time it's down. Rowell puts a stamp on set number 2. Mauled up at the top and a beautiful defensive play by Payouts. Asking you shall receive. Spotlight is new. Up tempo on defense. He gets it done. Now Nuno ahead of the pack. 1-on-0. Waits and scores! Bison move quick. Roskis has got a step. So dangerous in the box. He spurts. He's wide open. Sonnet makes a huge save. Bouncing around. It'll be a corner. One of the first ones come in on you, then you get the huge energy boost. I mean, you were a brick wall after that first period.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, being a goalie, it's all about the next shot. And, turnovers, it happened. We just got to scratch it off.
You talked to me about the composure you needed to play with in that third period. They tie the game. What were the conversations like on the bench at that point?
We got to get it back.
3:24. And obviously you tie Bill, somebody that's been really meaningful to you over the years as well. How do you find a way to wrap your head around that in the history that you've accomplished here at this program?
Yeah, I think my focus is how fortunate I've been to work with so many great players.
After the first, Joe mentioned how you really needed to find a way to get just more pucks on net. What was the difference there in period number 2?
I just think our attack mentality was better. Like, we were getting pucks behind them, attacking them on the forecheck, hemming them in.
Senior from London, really putting a ton of pressure on herself for this final year of her career. But, Coach Balducci told me that sometimes when you press that much of an athlete, you're not always getting your best. And Coach, maybe you can lend some credence to this. That might be where it's taking a little bit longer this year for her to get going, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you always do. It's kind of human nature.
Robert Bullion leading his Tigers squad this weekend with some heartstrings being pulled on, and that's because his daughter just had her second child, so the second grandchild for Robert Bullion just this weekend. He was with her on Thursday night. They thought that she was going to be delivered a couple of weeks later. Not the case, so unfortunately, Coach Bullion had to make the trip up yesterday. He left early in the morning to get up here to Cambridge with the rest of the team. But his wife, luckily, able to be there with his daughter, Jaylee, having their second. He was there for the birth of her first child, Remington, who made him a grandfather. Chris Kazemka spent the first 4 years of his career with Loyola. He was diagnosed with a cancerous mass in his body back in December. They had immediate surgery to remove it, and you saw him ring the bell just right there. He went through 5 months of scans, surgery, and 4 rounds of chemotherapy, but that was mid-April. He got to ring the bell with the Johns Hopkins Hospital staff that he was cancer-free. He said, shout out to my amazing family who you got to see on the screen there, who I've been able to lean on during these times. The ones who put myself, my happiness, and health above all. I love you from the bottom of my heart. He said Hike is a terrific example of that. He came to Princeton not recruited. He was a part of the student newspaper with JP Ohl. He had the background in water polo, loved the sport, and it was Ohl who convinced Yangabarian to come finally try out for the team. He was initially writing articles for the student newspaper covering the Tigers water polo program, and Dustin Litvak said we were getting the same kind of coverage because of his articles that the football team was getting. The coaching staff actually at a surplus store a couple of years ago came across 4 different boards that they were looking for a desk for the team, of all things, for their offices. They came across the 4 boards. Coach Neal and the rest of the staff all big into surfing. A number of the players in the team are as well, but now they have them to use at all times. It's been a huge piece of the culture that they've added in for the Seahawks. Cowboys and hockey don't typically go hand in hand, but giddy up because this season Joe LeMay is bringing that connection for Northeastern. Growing up in Quebec, LeMay was always outside with his cousins on his uncle's property. And then when he moved to British Columbia for the BCHL with the Silverbacks, that outdoor passion turned to a love for horseback riding. His billet family had horses, and every morning when his billet mom and sister went out to feed them, LeMay would tag along, and he fell in love with that aspect of life and the animals as well. It was in his blood. His mom was a horseback riding background, gave it up when she had Joe and his brother. Coming off his Rookie of the Year in the Ivy League, it was a busy off-season overseas for Harvard's Robert Hinton, suiting up with the Chinese Taipei national team twice. First at the Jones Cup in Taiwan, before making his FIBA debut at the Asia Cup in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia for the Continental Championship for Asia and Oceania. Hinton appeared in all 5 games for Chinese Taipei at the Asia Cup, averaging 11 points, helping the team to the quarterfinals. He said competing against the world's best players on the global stage was such a blessing, and the pride and passion everyone played with was unforgettable. It's a reunion tonight for a pair on either side, Harvard's Drake Murray and Aiden Park. They started playing together when they were 6 years old. They played for the same team for 12 years. Their families are both in town for Thanksgiving this weekend, staying at the same hotel, so they got to hang out on Thursday night. Aiden got drafted by the Oilers earlier this year. Drake was actually with them when it happened. It was a great story. Draft was held in LA, where close to both of their hometowns. Aiden had an interview with a couple of the teams around the league. It was kind of hit or miss on whether or not he was actually going to get drafted, but they decided to go to the draft in person anyway to support some of the guys they know, like Riker Lee, who they played with in high school. And then all of a sudden, with 10 picks to go, Aiden got a text from his agent, and guess what? That was his draft pick. So both of them were in the building for it, not expecting it at all. Aiden was actually wearing shorts for it, guys.
Let's check in with Jess Todd again for an update on UMass Boston.
Well, Cameron Perkins, Tyler, who just shot those free throws last time down for the Beacons, was actually reffing at a youth tournament over the past summer. And at one point during a break, he took one of the basketballs and he just elevated and threw it down. He got everybody in the background going, and everybody started chanting in the back, like, who is this guy? It's not a ref, it's just Cameron Perkins. So you get a sense of what he can do when he's in a serious game tonight.
Welcome back to the Bright Landry Hockey Center. Every goalie has their own unique flair when it comes to the mask. And Harvard's Ben Charette found the inspiration for the design on his from a familiar spot on campus. It's the stained glass windows of Annenberg Dining Hall, where Harvard freshmen eat all their meals. He spent a ton of time there as a first year on campus, really helped him feel a connection to the school overall. He had a similar design on his helmet for the second half of last season as a first year, and liked it so much he wanted to run it back with a new version. This one designed by Pro's Choice Masks, who also made them for Tuukka Rask,